Hey, what's happening, Sports-A-Delic? It's Thursday. Y'all know what that means. That's right, we got the bald and the beautiful Alopecia Foundation, but it's very special tonight. We have one of our ambassadors, Miss Tracey Cooke. She's going to not just walk in her truth, but she's going to allow us to stroll along with her on her journey, not just dealing with, alopecia, but also dealing with the loss of a child and relationships and just stuff. But come on over here in the studio and let's go on this journey with Miss Tracey Cooke. What's happening, ladies?
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
You
same
Too
know,
to
bad
you.
we not out drinking.
well, there's something to be said about dedication, hard work, and commitment.
Yeah.
You know,
Right?
because we always could always be somewhere else, right? But this is important, and
Yes, it is.
not to say that it's not important to everyone else, but it just feels like were those crickets? Okay, all right. I guess I'm on my own, with that one. Ladies, how have your week been?
Amazing.
Awesome, awesome.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay, all right.
Vacation starts tomorrow.
Okay, vacation starts tomorrow. Um,
Yes.
do you have some plans for the vacation? That includes the
Tracy
earpiece.
and I are going to take a little trip to New York.
You think they got some earpieces there?
She's throwing shade on the slide. She's sliding that shade in
Are
there.
you
Been,
coming
been,
for me?
been a Bronx bomber myself. I think they might have a
You
couple
see
of them laying
these?
around.
You see these?
Yeah, they look good.
They just don't work in my phone. Sorry.
Well, then they don't work. Then they don't work. It's like a tire. It's round, but if it's flat, it don't work. But it's round. Okay.
You're right.
All right, ladies. This is a special. I would say this is a special edition. And shout out to some of our new alopecians that have been following, that have been tuning in, sharing, coming out of their darkness and their sadness and their suffering. And that's really belongs to you guys. That belongs to you guys. They hit us up on Facebook. They hit us up on Facebook Messenger, telephone. They're reaching out, and that's what we want. Um, we respect the fact if you're not ready to remove the wig or the scarf. This journey is your own, but we're just here to have you understand that you have the support unconditionally, for whenever you're ready to embrace the baldness. Now, ladies, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but is it fair to say that the biggest thing that you want to do is have men, women, and children embrace the baldness because there's a certain freedom that comes along with it. Is that true?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
that
Yes.
is
So,
so
so,
true.
so really quick, will each one of you all speak to that freedom piece?
Just liberation. I would dread having to wear a wig right about now, especially in Atlanta. It's early, summer. That's not even summer yet, but it feels like early summer, and I just couldn't see myself with a wig on my head right now. When I walk out the door and feel that breeze on my scalp, it just feels so good. So I feel liberated.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for that.
I just say, just tell yourself that you're beautiful. Look in the mirror. Take a good look at who God created you to be and appreciate that. You know,
Yes.
your hair's falling out. There is no cure, why wear a wig? And like Pearl said, it's hot. It is extremely hot. And if you're my age, over 50, I can't deal with it. I just can't handle it anymore. But, I can't really speak on why a person, don't want to release and just say, you know what, I'm beautiful. I'm not studying nobody. I can't really speak on how another person feel. I just know how I had to deal with it.
Amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Angie?
Well, I would say for me, as you said, everyone's walk is their own. Um, we all choose to be free, and I choose to be free because that wig feels like a hat that only should be worn in the winter. And even in the winter, I don't wear it. I choose to be free because I'm beautiful. And every day that I look in the mirror and I look at this beauty, I say, "Good morning, gorgeous." So I'm not afraid of what people will say or what someone may think. If you don't like me, I like that because if you don't have haters, you're not popping.
Right.
So I will continue freedom. It feels good and it looks good.
Right.
You know, you don't cringe anymore. You're not worried anymore. You're just walking around and like, this is who I am. And I am not my hair.
Especially, and as you emphasized so many times before, you're not just walking around, you're walking around with perks.
Ooh,
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah. You know,
Definitely.
because
Nothing.
if I had a
Everything.
if I had a nickel, if I had a nickel for every razor that I've
Ooh,
used, and you know, I could have retired 20 years ago. As you know,
I
it's
can
like,
imagine.
oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go on the legs. So I definitely envy you. I really do. Like I said to our viewers, tonight is special for many different reasons. But we are official. So give yourselves a hand.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
So, Pearl, take time out to tell our viewers really fast what makes us so official. And then we will start with this journey that Miss Tracy's going to take us on.
We are official because Bald and Beautiful Alopecia Foundation Corporation is now registered with the Georgia Secretary of State. We have our EIN number and we're working on getting our 501c3. And I tell you, you will hear a lot from Bald and Beautiful Alopecia Foundation because we're coming to a city near you.
City, we're coming to your city. We're coming to your town. We're coming to your state. We're coming to your living room. We're coming.
We're coming.
Full
We're
force.
coming. We're coming. So, amen to that. Again, uh, it all started on Facebook because Pearl wasn't having it. And she said it needed to be a bigger discussion. And all praises, hallelujah, to God that the discussion has gotten bigger. And I hope you guys really, really know that you are helping. Because, like I said, I mean, I get messages all the time,
Thank
and
God.
Angie and I, we just have a code now. I just send it and say, "Get them."
At 11 o'clock at night,
And she be,
you need to reach out to this person.
yeah. Well, the only thing I know is if I'm on Facebook at 11 and I see the green light, her green light, and somebody else's green light, that's the green light. So there you have it.
That's what you
Yeah,
call dedication.
right.
yeah.
Hey, I'm on it. I am on it because I'm certainly dedicated, and committed as well. Now, man, Tracy,
Yes.
I want you to start out, however you want to start out. And certainly, as I have questions or if I need to stop you for clarification, or I don't know, I might have to I might have to go get some tissue. I don't know what's going to happen here. So, but we'll all take a deep breath together. And so let's,
Okay, I'm gonna start off saying that I just was always a sad little child. Never happy, didn't feel enough love. And because I was that person, I was searching for someone to give me what I felt that I wasn't getting, you know, searching from anything. If it was my behavior, if it was my, just I had a nasty attitude, I always wanted to fight. My grade, when I say my GPA coming out of high school was like a 1 point something, I didn't even know what a GPA was. You know what I mean? That's just how low I was in my own spirit. But I had my daughter. When I had my daughter, I was pregnant at 14. And
mm, mm, mm.
I remember my dad taking me to see The Color Purple. I felt so ugly. I had no self-esteem. I mean, not one in sight, not a piece of self-esteem. And he took me to that movie and I cried. Here
Well,
I am.
before we get into that,
Yeah.
let me back you up a little bit.
Hmm.
You said it 3 times already.
Yeah.
I felt so ugly. I felt so ugly. I felt so ugly. Uh, do you have a why? A why to that? Why did you think so little of
Be-
yourself?
because I just did not have, not saying that my parents were bad, they just didn't have time to
Okay.
really spend that time with me
Nurture
to,
and develop.
yeah, to nurture and develop. And I'm thinking, those generational curses run deep because they might not have gotten that same thing. You know what I'm saying? So here I am.
Well, to your point, that's more often that's true.
Hmm.
If your parents are not caring, loving, passionate, huggy, I love
None of
you,
that.
then because I remember distinctively my mother shared
Hmm.
that my grandmother wasn't that way, and uh, she vowed that if she ever had children, she's going to hug us and kiss us and tell them that we're capable and great and wonderful. And I appreciate it, but God knows it because I'm 50 and she's forgotten that I'm 50. But I had rather have my mother, my father being overbearing than certainly not at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
I couldn't
I,
imagine.
I didn't get that. So I was always in search of wanting that. So I had to end up having a child at 14 years old. Not just one. And this is the first time I'm really sharing my truth. Not just one birth, but several. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know, but I only kept three. Just put it that way. But it was just awful. And then by me being dark skinned, that was always an issue. My hair is bald now, but it was never really long, I guess you could say. So I just had low self-esteem. And I carried that, what my dad used to always say that um I put more attention to myself when I come into a room because I would be walking the wall like I don't want nobody to see me, but they're gonna see me because of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's like so
Try to sneak
yeah,
in the room.
yeah, I'm sneaking. I'm slithering the wall as I walk, just to not be seen, but you being seen because of what you're doing. You're
Because you're slithering. Like, who is this person slithering in here?
right.
Why they can't just walk in the damn room?
Exactly.
Okay, got it. I understand.
But anyway, I mean, I just had years of brokenness. Like I guess you could say in the Bible, there's the person with all the lesions, and I was that person. I just had many of trauma and and brokenness in my spirit. And I would just lash out any chance I get at anybody at any time, at any moment. It did not matter. I always felt like it was somebody was always doing me wrong, or somebody was looking at me crazy, or, you know, I always felt like all eyes were on me in a negative way, because that's how I felt about myself, so
Okay.
um
And that was, you say, from age 5, 6 to
mhm.
what age? 14.
no, no, up until 50 or 48, 49,
Ooh,
50. Yeah.
ooh.
I carried that. I just recently freed myself, thank God. I just recently did. I lived with that for many,
Well,
many,
amen to
many.
that.
Yes. Yeah. I got tired of doing, you hear the saying, you do the same thing over and over again. It's like you're insane. And I would literally do the same thing and get the same result. I didn't know how to jump out. I didn't know how to fix it. It
Well,
was.
I think at a counseling level, I always tell people be careful getting too deep into cliches because you take myself basketball. See, with basketball, it's do do the same thing, shoot this free throw the same way every time.
Mhm.
Shoot this jump shot the same way every time. And practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent.
Mhm.
But reality is, we can practice good habits and we can practice bad habits. And but as a child, when you don't have anyone nurturing and because I think children are like flowers, need
Delicate.
yeah, delicate, and but they need the photosynthesis, they need the water, the nurturing, they need to be talked to, and certainly sometimes pruned. But
Mhm.
when it's all pruning, or if the plant is just set over there in the corner,
Gonna dry.
it's going to dry up, it's going to die. And what I hear you saying is there was parts of me that just kind of died off.
Yeah. It,
Okay.
it yeah, I always felt like a very unique person. I had to surface things in life, living in a suburb, or, all of that, but I didn't get the communication, the physical touch of like I desired. So I would seek it and getting it in men, boys, whatever.
Mm,
Yeah, so that's what I did. And that's how my daughter became birthed, my first child.
okay.
Like I said, I was 14, and it was a journey. It was like I was a child. I mean, how can a child even understand about being a mother?
Well, walk us through the real fear associated with that. And what did your parents say? And what were people saying to you?
Well, I, I was pretty much taken out of public school to a pregnant girl school. So I really wasn't around anybody but girls like myself. But of course, a lot of mothers in the neighborhood, some mothers didn't want their kids around me because,
She fast.
yes.
She, okay, so that now pile that on top of everything else. Now the fingers being pointed
Hmm.
that, oh, don't hang around her. She's a hot tamale.
Yeah.
Not understanding that there's just this tiny, tiny, tiny little girl inside of this little girl that's just you
A
know
little girl that's been walking as a little girl for years, unable to escape and break free. I might be developing, I got boobs, I got a butt, whatever the case may be, but I'm still mentally in a traumatic state of mind, you know. So I really
emotionally
could,
as well.
yes. So I really could not. think anything more of what I thought of myself, which was not much at all.
Mhm.
I couldn't see as far as my hand is in front of my face. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So pretty much at that point, I just went into mommy mode. I just went into mommy mode. Took care of my kid. I kind of I went into mommy mode, but then I continued that path for all of my for many years. I just started taking care of other people and just neglecting myself.
Mm.
So pretty much, I guess you could say, I just forgot about me. I'm sorry, I get emotional about this too.
No, that's good. Let those emotions, come through. That's what's real. That's what's raw. Because
Yeah,
it happens. It happens, Angie. I mean, excuse me, Tracy. It happens. We we sometimes get to hide our hurt and our pain, by doing for others.
yeah, and that's what I did. Um, I had her, then I had my son, and then I had my daughter. Um, but I always took care of everything, everybody, because I always knew I was good at that, but I really wasn't good at anything else. I took pride in, like being like a secretary, I guess you can say, just making sure that all the ducks were in a row. But I really, I just neglected me. You know,
Wow,
I
that's deep.
yeah, I just let myself go. I forgot about me, even though I was here. I guess I really wasn't present. I was just here existing,
Mm.
but I wasn't present within myself.
Wasn't living. It was just
No,
existing. But
not
it
at all.
but it had all the appearances like it's all good.
Yeah, because because I used to didn't smile at all. So so when I finally was able to do that, uh, I hid all of my pain and my trauma because of my smile. I always had pretty teeth.
Well, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was able to hide all of my feelings and emotions because with my smile, when I was able to learn how to smile, but I was, I mean, my face was fighting to keep frowning. I mean, it was like, it was like I really didn't want to smile because I was always feeling like I was hurt about every doggone thing.
Well, smile, and no one will ever know the truth.
But that's not how I live now because my truth is the truth. And I can't do that because when you do that stuff like that, you don't have peace. You
Mm.
cannot have a peace of mind, period. If you smile, but you traumatize, you acting like a fool. I could turn this camera off or we're off this air and I'm acting like a fool. I'm cussing a person out, throwing stuff, tearing up the house, doing crazy. I mean,
Well,
I had lost it. I had lost my everlasting mind because I was just so hurt. So every man, like I was married with my youngest daughter's father, and it just was a hot mess. I had the appearance. I felt great. I was a wife, and so we have a home and doing all this, but it was traumatic. It didn't matter. I'm not good at storytelling. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all
okay.
over the
Well, let me
place.
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you
Uh-huh.
this question, uh, and this may help you put it in a better context. Um, how are you at accepting compliments? Did you automatically reject those because it's not how you feel?
Always rejected a compliment.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't recall even getting any really, to be honest. When I say I was numb to the whole world, I don't remember nothing. I have no idea. I don't remember all of that. It's like I blocked everything out of my life. Everything. I just was, like I said, I'm here, a shell, a body, a zombie. living every day, doing the same thing over and over again. Because I knew to do that. It's easy. Get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up again the next day, go to work. I wasn't doing anything outside of the same routine
Over and
over
over and
again.
over and over. Right.
Yes. It
Okay.
just was that easy.
Okay. So up until fairly recently,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I understand, we have a birthday right around the corner,
Yeah.
like literally right around the corner. So 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
or is it 4 years ago now?
It's 4 years
Four
now.
4 years ago, but it couldn't be 4 years ago. It had to start and get to this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What happened? What clicked?
I think really what clicked was seeing people live, and I did not understand how was they doing that. Like my daughter, she passed away in April 28th, 2018. She was a very unique type of individual. And I would always say to myself, how could she be alone? I mean, she's creative, she's doing this, she's making this happen, but she's at home alone by herself. It's like I always just felt like I had to be attached to something or someone. So, me watching her, a child, growing up into adulthood, she always intrigued my mind to a certain degree, but I still couldn't tap in. But when she passed away, and I was able to see how my other two children adapted and was able to embrace
Well, hold
life.
on, hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
okay,
'Cause, I'm not going to allow you to cheat yourself out of this moment. Okay.
okay.
And what I mean by that is, we're not going to gloss over it. We're going to dive into it.
Diamond. Okay,
Okay. Um, because I definitely can relate to, uh, hearing news that you don't want to hear, right? Okay. You're broken.
mm-hmm.
You don't seemingly like, love, appreciate yourself, but you've modeled well enough to be very convincing to your children that they got all of this love, right? And then
Mm-mm.
no,
No, ma'am. No,
no. Okay, you just take care of them, but
I
as
just
far as
take
that,
care of it, but I wasn't into them all like that.
okay, okay.
I didn't give them what they deserved, the nurturing part and all of that. I didn't do that. It was just like, okay, you got to go to school. I got to take you to school. I got to pick you up. Got to pick, stuff like that. Everything was a burden to me.
So you were taking care of their basic needs,
Mm-hmm.
but you still inside of wasn't sharing who you
Mm-hmm.
are because there was no one to share. Is that a fair
Exactly.
statement?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a very fair statement.
Well, let me ask you this: what happened when you said, "Okay, my daughter passed away"? But share with us, take us through, that truth.
Um, it was a very, I guess, numbing situation. Nothing I've ever experienced before. Um, thank God I did have a lot of support, but I was very hurt. I was very hurt as why she had to be the one to leave and pass away, and I still had to be here.
Hmm.
I wasn't happy about that because everybody says you want the parents to pass before your children, but I didn't understand why she had to be taken away from us, from me especially because I guess I wouldn't say I worshiped her or anything, but she was just like my first. And, you know, we kind of grew up together because I was
Hmm.
14 when I had her.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really, really difficult. And I was wanting the pain that I felt, I wanted other people to feel that pain, like especially my husband. I wanted him to feel the same pain that I've always endured I guess you could say, in life. So I was always never kind and loving and caring. And eventually I did get sick of that. First of all, I'm bald headed and I got a nasty attitude. Really? You got to be out of your mind. What's wrong with you, girl? I got sick of my own self. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right. Well, I think, and I don't know, Pearl, Angie, you guys can chime in here. Um, there's different psychologists out there that some of them subscribe to the same theories and some do not. But there's one theory that remains to be true. Uh, Everything does really relate back to childhood. It just does. And so, what happens in adulthood, uh, how you were educated, loved, or unloved during your childhood is ultimately how you face adulthood crisis. And that's why I think in the last 5 years, we have seen particularly men, black men, embrace and accept, counseling. It's usually for us as women, we'll talk to somebody, whereas men be like, oh, no, no, no. But for you all, uh, are there any synergies there? Some aspects, Angie and Pearl, that, uh, as far as walking in, walking alongside her truth that you could relate to that kind of pierced you a little bit that you'd like to share?
Well, I can relate to the having your child at a young age because got pregnant at 17 and had my son when I was 18, my oldest. And I also went to a school where there was girls like me. I ended up graduating from that school and walking with my class as well, my high school class. So I can definitely relate to that. I can relate to always looking for that love because our ancestors, our parents, they were not taught that. They was not shown that affection. So for years, I looked for that until I had my own children. And when I had my son, then I vowed that I was going to give him unconditional love. And to this day, before I hang up the phone with my kids, we always say, I love you, because I want them to know. And that is very important.
Thank you for sharing that,
Welcome.
Miss Angie.
Well, Tracy touched on a lot of things that I've endured also. Um, as we talk about our childhood, my father wasn't around, and I didn't realize that I had abandonment issues,
Mm, that's
and
deep.
left to do it by myself. And it was so funny because when I had my son, his father was killed. So there goes that thing that resonated in me so deep. I'm abandoned again, and I have to
Mm,
do it on my own. Um, we grow up in dysfunctional households.
right.
So when I did have my son, I always said that my son would know that I love him. I was like the type, I was always in the street. I was a provider, but I was just in the street. And a friend told me, Angie, you have a son at home, but you always out here. And that thing clicked. And it just made me think like, my mom partied and left us home. My dad was never around. He was an alcoholic. I need to stop. These streets don't love me. So
Amen.
I started being a parent. I made a lot of mistakes um, raising him because, as you know, hurt people hurt people. The men that
A-
I've dated, go ahead.
And there's no book of instructions anyway. It's not
Right,
like, here's how you do this.
right. So the men that I've dated, the abandonment thing always came up. It just always came up. I was like,
It's like
well,
skin. It's all over you.
right, right. Um, I made a mistake looking for love in the street from different men. I made a lot of bad choices in the men that I dated. And even today, my son is 30, and all the things that I've spoken to him about, I watched him get into a dysfunctional relationship,
Mm.
and I wanted to kill that girl.
Wow, wow, wow,
I did.
wow.
I'm not even gonna lie, I did. And but I had to learn how to let go and allow him to build his testimony as well as I have my own. And
Right.
today he's 30. He's healed because he took time by himself as I did. And we it was a time where we didn't even speak. Me and my own son.
Yeah.
But when
Like
I
I said,
moved here,
yeah.
when I moved here, I had to separate from him. But now today we talk all the time, and definitely when we get off the phone, we say we love each other. And the thing that made me really proud was he said, "Mommy, everything that you told me, I got it. I got it now. I didn't understand it before, but I got it now."
But I got it. Yes.
Right?
Well, um, I think for me, um, my upbringing was wild, because I felt like I was on this path trying to really do all of this stuff with, basketball, and then being the youngest. And, but I felt the weight. Like the number one thing that I didn't like is the pressure of having to be the the child that wasn't getting in trouble. And by me being the youngest, um, and my mother told me she put all of her hopes, desires, and dreams, into me. Uh, she had to have me naturally. Um, any and everything that went wrong can go wrong with a pregnancy went wrong, uh, with her, with me. She told me, and but she said she always knew that it was some kind of sign. And but I always hated having to be, the everybody's rock, everybody's everything. I just felt like I could only listen so damn much. And that's why I always told people I didn't choose counseling. I think counseling ultimately chose me. Because I've always kind of been sought out as, hey, I want to talk to you about this. And those are blessings if people think enough of you and trust you with, their private moments. But as a child, it was pressure. Like I just remember a whole bunch of pressure all the time. Pressure to, like I was the only freshman, the only underclassman. We're playing on varsity, and there was this pressure because you're the one, you're the X factor, so we can win this state championship. Just pressure everywhere. It just seemed like pressure. And I wanted to, there was times where I wanted to just do something really, really bad to be like everybody else, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Should have called me. I would have did
We all would have pitched
you would
in.
you would have helped me through it. You all would have helped me
it. Help
through
you
it.
be bad.
Right. And because I remember being picked and teased because I wasn't having sex. So then there became, well, there has to be a question about my sexuality because I'm not having sex, and I put it out there. I didn't know that it was something that supposed to be wrong with that, you know, because I was always listening was always listening. And then when you do have positive men, whether it's your father, uncles, brothers, telling you the only thing that you had to offer is something between your legs. Don't you think you better than that? And so I was always like, I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I'm better than that because they scared me from not having, you know. And then my brother, he told me, kissing is how you got pregnant. So up until I believe that, so and like kissing, I'm like, oh, 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 and still to this day, it takes, that whole French kiss thing. I'm still in the back of my mind, like, I'm gonna get pregnant. But I understood that's the foreplay. That's the stuff that leads to all the other stuff that, you know, as as my brother would say, that's when somebody's putting their peanut butter in your chocolate, making Reese cups. But these are the things, that I was told as a child. And Little Red Riding Hood is going to come visit you. Do you all know who Little Red Riding Hood is? Yeah, And I said, do you mean menstrual cycle? Because you can just say that because we're well on past the Little Red Riding Hood.
I call her Bertha.
Bertha. Well, yeah, Bertha's bad. Like, Little Red Riding Hood is evil. Just come on in your house, do whatever they want to do, and keep it, and just go on. Say the hell with it, right?
But,
Now, but I wanted to get back onto something else. I want each of you all to share with me, now that you recognize and accept your beauty. Is that a fair? Recognize and accept your beauty? Um, because the one thing that I can honestly say that my mother, I think is might be bad, but you could not convince me in a million years that I wasn't absolutely the cutest. I was the best at it because she really, had me thinking that. And so one day I looked and I was like, oh, I guess I am kind of cute because I wasn't looking per se. I was just accepting from her, you know. Uh, and my dad would just smile and look at me, just smile. And he'd say, you look just like your mom. And I said, yeah, I guess that's how the hell I came along. Because they had my sister, had my brother, so they were done. And I said, so that look is what brought me about, I guess. But what I want to what I want to know from each one of you all, now that you accept your beauty and your capability, um, have you gone back? How many people have you reached back to and say, you know what, I was chopped up, mutilated mess, and somebody has some static. Somebody has some static. Um, um, have you apologized to those people that you know that you owe it?
oh, absolutely. I definitely have done that.
I don't know. Wait,
Um,
hold on. Pearl is very stoic. Pearl, you ain't apologize to nobody.
Because I didn't have anyone to apologize to.
Okay.
No,
All right. I'm
I
just.
didn't go through, what Tracy was talking about because, see, my past growing up, I had to be tough because I went to school fighting bullies.
Oh my
So
God,
everything,
Lord.
it wasn't by choice. I mean, I had to in order to survive. So the things that have happened in my past, I have had to learn to deal with it and keep it moving. And that was the same with alopecia. And that's after I accepted the process of what I call ADC. And ADC is, I had to accept the fact that I had a hair loss condition, and it starts with acceptance. Until you accept it, you can't move forward. And then I had to decide if I was going to allow alopecia to take control of my life or if I was going to take control of it. And once I decide that I was in control, then I can move on to the next, and that was confidence. And confidence is you don't care what other people say or think about you because you love you some you. And so those are the three steps that I had to, to process before I got to where I am today.
Well, I think you ought to put out an apology on Facebook because you were a little rough with those people. Okay, I just wanted to say that.
Well, if the truth hurts, sorry, but it is what it is.
You were going to say, Tracy?
No, I did. It was funny that you say apologies and stuff because my son, like, I had to apologize to him because I knew I took him through a lot. And, we were able to bond. But then he asked me, did I apologize to my dad? And I had to tell him I did. It was always a man thing with me. It was just, I loved him, but I didn't, So I always had a problem when it came to the men,
So, so it's fair to say James better be glad he met you 30 years ago.
No. God gave me the right one for my life because he's a very humble person.
Amen.
He's not rude. He don't cuss. He don't treat me disrespectfully. God chose the exact right person that needed to be with me to deal with me and still accept me just the way I am.
Won't he
I
do it?
really.
Yes, he
Won't he
will.
do it?
Yes,
Won't
he
he do it?
will.
Mhm. So I
Won't he do
appreciate
it?
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I could have been with anybody who could have knocked me out or anything. You know what I mean?
Or left.
Cussed me out, yeah, or left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I was
Yeah.
a piece of work.
Okay.
And it's going to take
Angie?
a very special type of man to want to be with a woman who's bald. I mean, he's going to be someone who's secure with himself,
Mhm.
who is
Yes.
not looking for a token, a certain shape, long, pretty hair, and is going to love us for us. So,
Yes.
and Tracy has found that for herself.
Mhm.
And one
Amen to that.
day, Angie and I will one day find that,
Mhm.
or they will find us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because with our, what do we want to call these? I'm sorry, I got to kill something.
Uh-oh.
What do our gatherings? Um, because one of my friends was like, it wasn't, and I asked him, I said, what the hell is wrong with you now? Because I was like, what is going on in these circles? Because my male friends that have met you all, you know, one of them's like, why did I have to be married? And I'm like, what? What the, what the hell is going on? What?
Because we a lie, honey. We a lie.
It's
Yeah,
that confidence, you know.
I guess so. And then, well, we know about, who we won't say his name.
James.
Uh, okay. you know. Well, we're gonna start calling him what he is, Paul Jane. Okay.
But it's funny because, like I asked, have you been in a room with beautiful bald women before? Just and no one really could answer that question except BJ. Because men, if they're used to a certain look or a certain thing, that's what they're gonna want. They're gonna always want to search for that. But we're very unique women with confidence. We're sure of ourselves. And, some men, I don't know if they can either handle it or I really don't know. But
Well, what it does is, and though there's three things that we all have in common: confidence. I am a very confident person. I've always said, if there's any bitch in you, as a man, you ain't gonna do well with me. And it's just not gonna happen. And then I don't want to see any bitch in you. Um, you know, um, and I'm intelligent. That's intimidating, right? and attractive. That's intimidating, right? So when you have all of those things kind of working together, uh, and there's any bitch in you, you're gonna have a problem with ladies, like ourselves. I was talking to someone earlier today. We as women get a I mean, just admonished and chewed up because there's this thing that a woman can't raise a man, right? But I said, well, if we got Kevin Samuels as a man trying to tell women how to behave and be women, I don't see it being any different. But we're made up of a man and a woman.
Masculine, feminine energy.
War
Right.
men.
Yeah.
We war
Well,
men because we have a womb. That's how
right.
God created us.
So you got to expect that there's going to be some traits and some characteristics where a man may be more docile than a woman, still very much a man, and vice versa, still very much a woman, right? Um, and then those are people that nobody. I mean, I wouldn't want to be bothered with anyway. So you know, but
What you want, a
and
thug?
well, I had to. I was taken aback Saturday.
She wants a corporate thug.
No, no, no. I have. I can see his face right now because I'm not supposed to talk too much about because he's like because you're gonna put something out there to the world, and you know you don't want his insecurities put out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never looked at it like that in terms of if he has to be this or that. I've always said if he fits me like a glove, I will know. That's my thing. If he's respectful and honest, and you got to be confident. Now, when you all actually meet, my honey, it's gonna take a lot because he is beyond arrogant. But it doesn't bother me. You might be like, what the hell? Because some people are like, yeah, what the hell?
Okay. What is it?
Because he'll say it in a minute. I'm a good looking guy. I'm a nice guy. People love me. He's one of them type.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it is. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But Angie, you're not crawling out of this because see, I stuck a pin in it, but I'm coming back to it. Now that you have accepted that you have to go back with, I mean, I know you touched on some of the apology and the brokenness was just your son.
Because everyone else, it was me. You know, me loving hard and the cheating and I stayed
You
for
were
the abuse and I stayed for the abuse and I stayed. So a lot of it was they owe me an apology. The only the only person I really owed an apology to was my son and my father.
okay.
Um, I apologized to my son, but he said, "Mommy, you don't have to apologize to me." I said, "No, yes, I do."
Yeah,
And
it's for me. It's not for you.
right, and I couldn't apologize to my father because he died. Um, and normally people just go crazy because they couldn't get that apology, but now they're going. It didn't weigh heavy on me like that
Okay.
because I knew that although he abandoned us, I knew how to go back in when he was in the hospital. I still knew how to go to the hospital and pray for him and, laugh with him and everything. Even though I sighed at him like, you need me now, huh?
Oh, oh my
But
God, Jesus.
we have to honor our parents. And that's what I had tried to do was honor my dad, but he was gone, so I wasn't able to apologize to him. Oh, and my mom too.
Okay, I know it was somebody else. Damn
Yeah,
it.
I was like, real rude, real disrespectful. Um, she and I didn't speak for a while, but we're very good now, and I love my mom. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her. We had our differences just like everybody.
She's still in New York.
Yes, and I'm going to see her, even though she surprised me. She's leaving tomorrow, and she's not coming back till Mother's Day. So I get to see her for Mother's Day after Tracy and I run the streets.
Damn, my God. You just better have them slices when you get back. That's all I know. Straight
Okay,
cheese.
so how do we supposed to do this?
Off air.
Okay,
Off air.
well you
Uh,
brought it on air.
I because I've spoken. You better have the slices. Like it ain't a
I got
conversation.
look at us. I have you. That's not a problem.
I just
But
want
I
you to know
just
it's
want to
not a
know how I'm going to
conversation.
get it on a plane.
Off air. Okay.
I got you. Okay,
Okay. All right.
boys,
Okay.
I got you.
Now let me while
Uh oh.
we get um guys in conclusion tonight. First of all, uh Tracy, you have a beautiful smile. Keep smiling. You know, I had a home girl, and she had the gap in it too, and she used to get so upset because people always call it a gap tooth, this or that or that or this, and so she tried to go get braces, and but they told her it's just going to open back up because it's more of a hereditary thing in terms of your mother, father side or whatever. Just like in my case. But I was just the opposite. You
Right.
know, well, it didn't show me I wasn't a candidate for, braces per se. He said, but I'll take your money. He said, you have a little crossbite, but, and the size are different, teeth are different sizes, but that doesn't mean you need braces. But I was just the opposite. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know how you all wouldn't take hair for the world now, with the exception of eyebrows? Uh,
Right.
that's that's the way I see it. Like I think it makes me sexy.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
getting tired of hearing this beautiful out of your mouth. I
So
know
you
what
want
you're
us to
trying
say
to
you're
do.
pretty?
No, I'm talking about Tracy. I know what you're trying to do. Okay,
It is.
I know, but always keep smiling, and certainly thank you for allowing us to walk in this truth. With you, and I always love the real and raw emotion. It's real and authentic.
Yeah, I just want to help as many women. I always had a passion with women because I had a child so young, so you can get through this, you can make it, you can survive all of this, the welfare system, all of that. You can survive and get to a level of life where you won't have to worry or stress. But I'm just grateful right now, seriously, to be at peace and to just be able to enjoy life like I was supposed to a long time ago. I wish I would have, been able to do this long before now, but I'm grateful for now.
Well, it wasn't the right time. Timing
Yeah.
is everything.
Hmm.
It's your
Pearl,
season now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
um, would you, close us out with the necessary information, how people can email us, get in touch with us, what we have upcoming, our whole spiel. Would you do that, ma'am?
Sure can. Again, we are the Bald and Beautiful Alopecia Foundation. Definitely
Officially.
officially. So definitely look out for the events that we're looking to plan in the future. And if you have a question, concern, want to get in contact with us, need support, hit us up at our email address, which is bbaf ambassadors with an s at gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you.
How
And
about
not
a
only
B?
uh, A.
No,
No.
no,
I mean,
BBAF.
no.
okay. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
It's B. And you're supposed to say,
B.
I got your B. I got your B.
Okay, yeah, that
How
one.
about it? Okay, well, I tried.
How did that beat sound?
Clearly, we've gotten too old for cheers.
And I would
The
like to say also, if they would like to support us
amen to that. Amen.
monetarily, you can definitely hit us up at bbafambassadors@gmail, and we will get back to you. We're taking all donations.
Yes, yes, we are. And I did get a direct message from someone, and I told them I was going to pass this on to you all. And they are here local, and they want to have alopecia dating function or something. Uh, said like similar to like how they used to do the
Speed dating.
not the speed dating, but like you're behind a petition and there's three choices. They ask you these questions, then you pick one. That old
The
school
dating game.
That would be
the
fun.
dating game. Yeah, So I
What they
said
trying to they trying to hook up the single alopecians?
yeah. Some
So
they
you
try.
gotta bring the men to mind, open their horizons, because they got hair on their mind. And
So
that ain't it.
do we need to close James' horizon?
Seal it tight.
Uh-uh. Throw it
Wait,
in the water.
you just said open,
Oh
broaden
yeah.
their horizon. So with James, we want to close his.
Oh yeah. Open it but not here, this way. No.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And I do want to say that Bald and Beautiful Alopecia Foundation is not just for women, it's for men, women, and children. And if you
Yes.
guys have a topic that you would like for us to discuss on the show, if you have any ideas, and if you guys are up for this dating game, definitely hit us up and let us know.
Oh, and I have one thing also too. I'm looking for a parent whose child has alopecia and their child is very outgoing. I would definitely love to talk to you. So
You
hit me
all,
up at bbafambassadors@gmail.com. Ambassadors with an S.
There you go.
all right, ladies, thank you again. And like I said, Tracy, thank you for not just walking in your truth, but allowing us to be like footprints in the sand and be along for the journey, with you. Okay.
Thank you.
But we would like to thank you too, Rima, for giving us this opportunity to share.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was scared. I was scared. Uh, because I knew when Pearl immediately, like in 1.2 seconds, accepted my friend's request and hit me up. I said, I'm in this now. And I was afraid not to, not to.
Yeah, because you can't go anywhere now. You're stuck with us.
You are
Yeah.
For real.
stuck.
For real, as they say.
Period.
For real, for real.
Mhm.
And then I found out that Tracy can lay hands on me. So, um, but again, happy Mother's Day.
You too,
Same
Thank
everyone.
you.
to you.
Thank
And
you.
to all
And
the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
Yes,
to all
Happy
the
Mother's
mothers.
Day to all the mothers.
And a
absolutely.
special happy birthday to Tracy.
Tracy.
Tracy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
That is awesome. All right. Ladies, have a good night and
Yes.
enjoy this Mother's Day weekend. And as always, be in touch if you need to, if you want to.
Yes.
All right.
All
Yes.
right.
All
Bye.
right. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.